patients and a red tag. Now we'll give the yellow tag to the person who have we can bit delay to their medical facilities, like victims who have injured by medical care can somewhat be delayed. So now the green one, will give the green tag to those victims who have the minor injuries, like they can self-help, like we can say these are ambulatory patients, we can see them roaming around, like okay they have some injuries but they can be kept aside ki first we have to treat the our priority one, which is a red one, and the black one. The black tag will give to the patients who are dead and moribund patients are like who are about to dead. Now after this is we can see the priority system. Like first priority, the immediate treatment, immediate care will give to the person which we have assigned them to the red tag. Then the urgent one will give to the yellow, like the person we have seen though has the injuries but the treatment can be delayed. And the green one we can see the patient is fine, as we can see in the screen also, the patient is fine, and the black one is given to the patient who is moribund, like dead. So basically there are systems of triage. The most accepted system of the triage is the START system. So the START system is simple triage and rapid treatment. So here we will divide the patient like this. Okay, first will the patient is ambulatory or not, means is he able to walk or not. If he is able to walk, we can give him a green color, like a minor injury is there. Then if he is not able to walk, then we go about his respirations, like we will measure his respiratory rates. So if he is if we can see his respiratory rates can be seen, then we have divided this into two categories. Like if the respiratory rates are seen, then we'll give the immediate treatment to the person. If no, then it means like the person has been dead, brought dead. Okay, so now if the respiration rates are seen, we can see the respiration rates over 30 minutes and under 30 per minute, 30 respirations per minute, and we have divided this. So the person whose respiratory rates are 30 per minute, over 30 per minutes, are given immediate care. So those person who have the respiratory rates under 30 per minute has been divided, like we can give them CPR, like RPM. It's like respiration has been measured, perfusion has been seen, and mental status has been seen. So perfusion, like how we see the perfusion, there's a radial pulse present in our arm. We'll watch the radial pulse, and then if the radial pulse is absent, then we'll find the capillary filling time. Okay, so capillary filling time is about over 2 seconds and under 2 seconds. If it's over 2 seconds, so we'll give the control the bleeding, like bleeding is there, very much heavy bleeding is present, so we'll give them a red tag. Okay, so red tag means the immediate treatment has to be given. So now we'll check the mental status of the person whose capillary filling rate is under 2 seconds. Okay, so mental status is like the person can't follow simple commands. If the person can't follow simple commands, then we'll give him a red tag. That means immediate care has to be given. If the person can follow simple commands, so then we can give him a yellow tag. That means a delayed treatment can be given, because at triage there is a very much chaos. We have to attend the patients with with very much care. So we have to divide the patients on the basis of priority. So we can divide the patients, as we have seen by this system, how we can divide the patients on the basis of priority. So for example, who are the patients, those we can give the red tag. Red tag are being given to the patients has the closed head injuries, are in shock, have got the pneumothorax or a hemothorax. Yellow tag has been given to those person who has, we have seen respiration, perfusion and mental status right now. So those who have all three, respiration, perfusion and mental status has normal, or they have sustained a isolated burns, fractures and stable other traumas. Okay, so the green tag as we have seen, so green tag has been given to the patient whose again respiration, perfusion and mental status is normal, but we can see them walking around. Like I have been told like these are ambulatory patients, but they have just got some physiological casualties. Black we know to whom we have to give the black tag. Black tag has been given to the person who are dead and unsalvageable. So basically, after shorting all this, giving the tags, like arranging the patient according to the priorities, now we have to just see the periodic assessment of all the categories is important, because patient might move from one area to another area. Example, from green zone to yellow or yellow to red zone at any time. So continuous monitoring is needed. This approach emphasizes the need for rapid stabilization, appropriate dispatch of victims according to the type of injury. So it is easy to remember, like we have like for that ease we have like made a 3T systems, like tag first the patients come, casualties there, patient comes first, we have to tag the patient, then according to our tag, like we have given the red color, yellow color, black color. So we like treat the patient according to that, and then we will transfer the patient to the nearest available facilities. Now let's talk upon impact of disaster on public health. Sorry. So when the disaster hits, it has a great impact on a public health, because we are the one who was going to be impacted. So what can be seen there as a 4 things basically when the disasters comes to the human life. It affects our physical health, it gives us a physiological effect, it gives us a social effect and an economical effect. As we can see, it's a physiological effect, like after a disaster we have lost some person has lost their near ones, they have lost everything, they have lost their home, they have lost their loved ones. So the person may be stressed, depressed and in shock. As a social disaster, we can see that when the natural disaster calamities comes, there we can see a mass displacement is there, social evils is there, people can't attain the school, can't go to the work. This effect there, the social effect is this. And what is the economic effect? This is the most grievous effect, like a person has lost his property, we have lost our infrastructure, earning family member if he's been lost, or there is unemployment has been created due to this whole hazards. After there is a physical effect. Physical effect is one, the sustained by us, the sustained by a victim itself. It's like outbreak of a disease. Like if a disease outbreaks happens after we'll talk about it in a further while, that outbreak of some disease happens after a disaster. Injury, the pollution is there. So now there is a 2 cluster of disaster consequences that affect our health. Basically, mainly there is a loss of shelter and the exposure to health hazards. If loss of shelter is there, then we won't have the food security. Like we can see that our crop will be damaged, our everything will be damaged. Water, we can see that water will be contaminated by various things, and the sanitation things will also be a problem. So exposure to a health hazard, it's like morbidity. A patient can sustain injuries, cannot able to work, and the mortality if a person dies. So now let's see the long-term health effects of natural disaster. Long-term, what are the long-term natural effects of a disaster on a human health? Basically, we are here for a human. Residual problems stemming from a natural disaster are one that will most lead to the long-term consequences. Most people, as we can see, most people are familiar with the immediate effect of disaster itself, as we have like created such a awareness among the people, so they have familiar with the immediate disaster itself. As we can discuss, a variety of emergency interventions are needed to stabilize the population that was affected the most. Obviously, that we have to stabilize the effect on the population that has been affected most by the disaster. After this, the next phase comes a recovery phase. Because of these events that has caused a mental trauma to a person, that same holds true for contagious illness also. Following a natural disaster, we can see an outbreak of malaria, measles, cholera like diseases, okay, especially if prompt immunization measures are not taken, because our health system has been greatly because the health system has been greatly interrupted. So basically the mental health problem, we have to talk about this, because this rank among the most widespread long-term effect of natural disasters. Grief and shocks are normal in the immediate aftermath of natural disaster when the people are failed to return to normalcy. However, mental health practitioners must deal with the lasting physiological impact of the disaster, because we have discussed, after disaster a person suffers from these many effects, like physical effects, social effects, physiological effects. So there has been high chances that person suffers from these all mental disorders. So hygiene problems and the loss of basic infrastructure has been seen. Obvious that disaster can hit any time and can give any impact to the environment. So the effect of when the calamities is there, natural disaster is there, there's an effect on a health service system. Health service system infrastructure can suffer significant damage during natural disasters, can have a prolonged effect after disaster. After a disaster, in addition to those facilities being damaged, valuable equipment and medicine can also be lost. And the affected areas are typically seen large population leave, as we have talked about. The social displacement is there, and the insensitive. So, how to come over this? So we have to provide the insensitive to restructure the healthcare system are lessened as the residents move out. Resources for restabilizing for general community are also running low. Thus, it will take longer to properly repair the healthcare system. Now, recovery after a disaster. What are the available resources? Actually, basically the main thing is it has to be a multi-dimensional approach. Mainly, like we have to decentralize everything to overcome the effect of disaster. How? Because there is a maximum impact on whom? The maximum impact is there on our local communities, as we have seen. They are the one who has been impacted by the disaster. So we have to take a multi-dimensional approach. Like how? I'll explain. Decentralize and build capacity of local communities and compilation of guidance training that local communities can rely on to the speed to the progress of post-disaster recovery. Providing financial support, assembling local leadership. As we have said, we have to like decentralize the process. So we